Bishop of the world. And out they come for round one. The southpaw, Takao Sakurai, tall as Rose. Slightly outreach, but very little between, only a fraction in the difference reaches. Sakurai, cautious, not throwing leather. Rose watching him, working around. A right-hand jab by Sakurai. Rose not throwing anything at the moment, just working around. Sakurai from a crouch moves up towards Rose. Rose not moving to throw a punch at all as Sakurai. Now Rose throws a left hook, but it was a wild one and missed by quite a space as Sakurai got out of the way pretty quickly. Back towards centre ring again. Sakurai comes in towards Rose. No, Rose not mixing it, just steps away from Sakurai, has a good look at him, goes back towards the corner, steps around him again. Back towards the ropes, Rose. Sakurai coming to him, a left lead by Rose, but not much zip in it. Sakurai putting out a tentative right-hand lead. A lead again by Sakurai, brushed aside by Rose. The southpaw, of course, is the Japanese, and he's leading with the right hand. Comes into Rose, but changes his mind, doesn't throw a punch. Rose not throwing any leather also. Well, you couldn't say that he's not taking his time. A voice from the Australian contingent say, take your time. Well, he's doing just that. Sakurai lands the first punch of the fight, the first clean scoring punch, but he actually feinted with the right hand and scored with a left-hand job that landed up on Rose's head. Now he swings the left hand into the body and skips away again. Rose comes after him. He's going to be a tricky opponent for the Australian world champion as Rose comes after him, and Sakurai very quickly on the back move away from Rose. Rose comes after him. He tries a left hook, and there's a clash of heads too. Clash of heads has got Rose actually on the chin, I think. Dislodged his mouth guard slightly. Hard left to the head now by Sakurai. Beat Rose to the punch pointless that time. Sakurai bounces up towards Rose once again. Rose gets him now, the straight left to the face. Punches out a left hand once again. He tries a right hook that time, Sakurai, but missed with the punch, and Rose also misses with his left hook counter. Rose looking a little stiff at the moment and uncertain. In goes that left hand from Sakurai once again, fighting with the right hand and scoring with that left hand once more. It's a right hand jab, a right to the side of the head now by Sakurai as Rose moves towards him once again, and Sakurai well on the way to taking the points in the first round. A right left to the side of the head now by Rose. Sakurai darts in but doesn't throw a punch, comes back from Rose. Rose tight defence but not throwing a punch just at the moment. He moves after Sakurai, hit him with actually a straight right-hand job that time. Quite a good punch, went through the gloves of his opponent. He moves into the challenger now, jabbing the left hand, but it's short. Sakurai back with a right-hand lead, but that too is short. Rose also short with his left hand, trying to work Sakurai back near the ropes, right close to our major network microphone. It's a right-hand lead now by Sakurai. Rose comes towards him once again, getting in close. Sakurai quick and scores with a right-hand jab and a left to the head. Rose comes after him, and Rose hits Sakurai with a good right hand that time. Sakurai backs away pretty quickly. A right-hand jab to the face by Sakurai. An interesting first round, however, with Sakurai probably pinching the points because of his greater work over the first 2.5 minutes, although Rose looked pretty good in the last 30 seconds of the round. The bell for the end of round 2. Second round coming up. Warning whistle, seconds out. Bell for the start of the second round, and Rose moves out very quickly to the center of the ring. So too does Sakurai. Sakurai ducks away from the left hook thrown by Lionel Rose. Sakurai back with a right hand jab to the face. A right to the side of the head now by Sakurai. Clubbing punch that landed high on Rose's head. Rose comes after him, but a little uncertain here as Sakurai backs away from him, and Rose is in the position now of having to make the fight, having to chase the challenger. He goes after Sakurai away from the ropes, and Rose jabs him with a left hand to the head. Sakurai using every inch of the ring, pushes out a right hand lead, but not a very good punch, and misses the target. Rose scores with misses the left hook, scored with a short right, and Sakurai gets away from the ropes and back towards center ring. The scholar, Sakurai, in close there, trying to hold on to Rose, and the referee, Nicky Pope, gets between them and has a half-sharp word to say to the challenger, Sakurai. Back into center ring now. Oh, Rose misses with a right hand, and Sakurai in close, claims him, pulls his left arm clear, hit Rose with the left hand to the body, and the referee once again separates them and indicates that they must be careful in close of the heads. Rose walking up on the challenger. Sakurai backing away, pushing out a right-hand lead. Rose trying to catch him on the ropes. A right-hand jab now by Sakurai once again. Rose comes after him again. Sakurai backing away. A right-hand jab now, a left-hand jab by Rose. Right-hand jab by Sakurai. Sakurai hit Rose with a beautiful left-hand jolt that time, right on the chin. Good punch. In goes Rose, and Sakurai hit him with a swinging right hand that put Rose off balance. Rose is having his troubles at the moment as Sakurai bounces back into center ring. Rose comes after him. But Sakurai is very quick, and he's moving around the ring. Rose not getting a sitting shot at him at all, and Sakurai not walking up at any stage. Ready to jab a right hand, doesn't do so as Rose comes in on him. Rose misses with his left hand lead. A left to the side of the head now by Sakurai. Rose tries to hold on. Referee pulls them apart from the clinch once again. Rose is bleeding from the nose. In at center ring. It's Sakurai coming to Rose. Rose scores with a left-hand jab. Jab by Rose once again. Sakurai backs away once more. Rose coming after him. Sakurai punching out the right-hand lead. He hit Rose with a terrific left-hand shot, and Rose is down. Rose is down. A terrific left-hand. And the count is on Rose. He's on his feet. He nods to the corner to say that he's okay. The count is on and locks on. A knockdown. A beautiful left-hand jolt by the southpaw Sakurai. And Rose comes after him. He misses with a left hand. Sakurai now moves up on Rose. Hits him hard with a left-hand jolt once again. He's got him back in the corner right over our microphone. Left to the head now by Sakurai. And Rose tries to hold on. Can't do so. Referee separates them, and Rose lets go a whistling right hand that time at Sakurai, but just missed the target. And Sakurai scores with the left to the head. Left and right to the body now by Rose. Rose back on the ropes now. And Sakurai pushing out a right-hand lead. A jab now by Rose. Jab by Rose again. Sakurai coming in, trying to get into position to land that left-hand jolt once again. Rose falls in on Sakurai, and Sakurai off balance, goes back. There's a right to the head by Rose, was quite a good punch. Getting close to the end of the round as Sakurai stands his ground, and there goes the bell for the end of the sensational second round. Jimmy Bell pats Rose on the chest and the back as he slumps back after he must be very disappointed that time. A solid, short, sharp left-hand jolt to the chin sat Rose right on his tail, and the referee put the count on him. However, that was the bell for the end of round 2. Preparing to come up for round 3. Lionel Rose, champion of the world. The test is on him now. Points in the first 2 rounds have gone to the Japanese challenger. A knockdown to the challenger in the second round. And they move up now for the third. A right-hand jab now by Sakurai. Rose moves towards him. A right-hand lead by Sakurai again. A left-hand jab now by Rose. Jab with the left hand at Sakurai once again. Sakurai back away from Rose. Rose trying to crowd him now as he goes in, putting a bit more zip to that left hand. There's a left-hand jab now from Rose. Jab by Rose once again. He tries to pull Sakurai off balance that time as his left hand follows through. Rose moves in on Sakurai again. Sakurai back towards the ropes. Rose hitting with a hard right hand to the body. Sakurai away from the ropes and back into center ring. Rose, left-hand lead now by the champion, and the challenger Sakurai doesn't throw a counter punch. Rose let go a right hand, but he's off the target with the right. So left to the side of the head now by Rose. Flailing leather at Sakurai, but Sakurai moving away and making himself a very difficult target. Punches out a right hand lead, taken on the arm by Rose. Back into center ring once again. It's Rose moving up on Sakurai, but Sakurai weaving. Stands still. Rose doesn't throw a punch. Rose uncertain as he goes in on him, and Sakurai actually scored the punch with a swinging a right hand to the body. Rose standing in close. Referee Nicky Pope separates them away from the clinch and reprimands Sakurai for holding. Rose and Sakurai at center ring in the third round of the Bantamweight Championship of the World. Left hook to the head now by Rose, and Sakurai scored with a right to the body. There's a hard right to the head now by Rose. Sakurai comes away from the rope, and Sakurai the left to the head, and a hard left-hand jolt by Sakurai, and Rose comes back with a short right-hand jolt to the chin. Both landed very good punches that time, but Rose looking a better fighter in this third round. As Sakurai goes back on the ropes, comes in with a right-hand jolt to the head, and in close, Rose standing and allows Sakurai to hold on him, and the referee reprimands Sakurai once again for holding. It's Rose moving in now on the southpaw. He tries to hook him with the left hand. It was a wild left hook. That's him. Sakurai away from the corner, gets out of the center ring once again. Rose comes in after him, and Sakurai hits him with that right hand, that left hand jolt to the head again, swinging the right into the body, and then scoring that short left hand jolt. A bit of a clubbing match in close, and the referee signals to them. They touch gloves, and Rose lets go that right hand. He misses with it again. Sakurai scores left and right to the head once more. Rose pushing Sakurai back on the ropes as Sakurai claims him in close and not letting the champion be cut loose with his hard counter punches at short range. Sakurai fighting good tactics. in its centre ring once again now. Rose walks up on him. A left-hand jab by Rose. Sakurai's right hooking punch pulls Rose off balance. Rose comes up after him once again. Sakurai ducks in close, changes his mind, gets away. Rose comes to him. No, Sakurai tried to beat him to the punch that time. That left-hand jolt couldn't do so. And there's a bit of a wrestling match over on the ropes. And once again, the referee blames Sakurai for holding Rose after the challenger. Sakurai ducks away from him, however, goes back into centre ring. Rose comes to him. Left hand by Rose is badly off target, getting close to the end of the round again. A left-hand lead now by Rose. Not good punches, however. And another round, I would say, to the challenger, Takao Sakurai. And Rose walks pretty slowly back to the corner as the bell goes for the end of round 3. This will be round 4 of the Bantamweight Championship of the World, with the holder and defender of the title, Lionel Rose, down, I would say, by 3 rounds at this stage. The third round, well, not a great deal in it, but I think you'd probably have to score it to Sakurai. But I would say that Lionel Rose has got plenty on his mind at the moment as he comes up now for round 4. The right-hand lead now by Sakurai. Rose comes after him, weaving from side to side. Left-hand jab now by Rose, and Sakurai throws a right hand and misses, and throws a wild left hand and misses also. Rose made the miss. Rose comes up towards Sakurai. It's a right hand by the challenger, but it's a very tentative one. Left-hand lead now by Rose, but none of the real zip and sparkle that we know that Rose can put into his left-hand punching. He let go a hard right hand at Sakurai that time and caught him in the face. That sent him back on his heels momentarily. Rose comes up to him again. Sakurai going back on the ropes. Rose trying to catch him here in the corner. Rose walks into him once again. Sakurai dances around, not throwing any leather at all, just intent on self-preservation at the moment as he goes back towards centre ring, neither throwing leather. Rose looking for the chance to throw that right hand, I would suggest. The Sakurai looking for the chance to throw his left. It's a left-hand jab by Rose, however. Rose a little smile on his face now as Sakurai comes up to him once again. A right-hand lead now by Sakurai. Let go that belting left hand once again, but it didn't land that time, and Rose comes back with a left-hand jab to the face. Rose to him once again. Sakurai moves in and scores with a left to the head. He's got a double move here. He throws the right hand to the body and then gets that short left-hand jolt straight to the head, and Rose has fallen for it quite a few times. Punch must have gone a little low that time, and Rose immediately extends the hand. Back at centre ring, circling around. Sakurai with his gloves held up pretty high. Rose, from good fighting stance, tries a left hook, but Sakurai nails him with that left-hand jolt once again. Rose moving to him again. Left-hand jab now by Rose. Jab by Rose once again. He let the left hand go, but it was a kidney punch that time by Sakurai around behind the scoring line. Back at centre ring again with Rose moving in on the challenger. But when he gets in close, he doesn't throw any leather, and the lead is taken away from him by Sakurai. Left-hand jab now by Rose. Goes up to Sakurai again, and Sakurai nails him with that left-hand jolt once more as Rose comes in on him again, and Sakurai hit him with that left hand straight to the chin. Rose getting a bit serious now as Rose comes up after him once again. A right-hand lead now by Sakurai. Rose comes in towards him again, weaving from side to side. Sakurai back in the corner. Rose trying to set him up, but Sakurai beats him to the punch and scores with a right-hand jab to the face. A left-hand lead now by Rose. Left and right into the body by Sakurai. Sakurai comes up again. Rose throws the right hand and misses and catches up with Sakurai and hit him with a left hook to the head. Sakurai, unbeaten as a professional Olympic gold medalist, and giving Rose a power of trouble tonight in the world title fight in Tokyo. A clinch, the referee separates them away. Rose goes after Sakurai, hits him with a right to the head, had him off balance slightly, and landed only one punch, that right to the head. Rose dances in close once again, hits him with a right to the head. A right-hand jab now by Sakurai. Rose comes up to him again. Back towards the ropes goes Sakurai. Jabbing a right hand there, but there goes the bell for the end of round 4. Takao Sakurai, the challenger for Lionel Rose's world bantamweight title, is a dead-set counter-puncher, but he's counter-punching very well tonight and giving Rose a lot of trouble. Rose is trying to crowd him, trying to get up on top of him, but finding it very difficult to do so, and sometimes, in fact, quite frequently, he's running into those stiff left-hand jolts that are coming from the southpaw challenger, Takao Sakurai. Rose in trouble at the moment. I haven't scored him around clearly yet for the champion, and Sakurai with the points at the end of the fourth round. Up now for the fifth. Right to the head now by Rose. Sakurai ducks away. A left-hand jab now by Rose. That's sharper and better punching by Rose. Moves towards Sakurai once again. Sakurai ducks away very quickly. Rose comes after him. A left-hand lead by Rose. He throws a right hand. He misses. Sakurai goes left to the body. But Rose ducked away pretty quickly. Comes back now with his left-hand lead. Sakurai weaving from... No, he stands up straight. Comes in, goes left and right to the body. And a jab to the face now by Rose. But Rose is going to have to start and punch pretty hard soon because he's really got to, if he's going to retain his title, he's got to get on top of this fella pretty quickly. In goes Sakurai. He's leading a right hand, but Rose comes back with a left-hand lead. Sakurai darting in close, pushing out a right hand. Pushes out the right hand once again. Rose comes back with a left-hand lead. Rose moves in towards Sakurai, trying to get Sakurai back towards the ropes. But Sakurai doubles away, goes away from the right hand of the champion. Rose follows him across to center ring. No leather being thrown at the moment as they move around the ring. And Rose lets go the right hand. He missed badly with it. Sakurai's got him. And was almost a half Nelson. Belted him in the back of the head. Caught a reprimand from the referee, Nicky Pope, as they go back into center ring once again. Rose up at center ring now as Sakurai moves away from him. Rose comes to him and Sakurai moves in and belts him with that left-hand jolt once again. That's a good punch. And Rose has been a sucker for it so far tonight. Rose up at center ring. Comes to him again. He leads the left hand, but it's short of the target. Sakurai scores with a right-hand jab to the head. A confident punch now by the challenger. He moves in towards Rose once again. Rose weaving, trying to come up close to the challenger. Sakurai going back towards the ropes. Rose going into him again, but not throwing a punch now. Sakurai gets a right hand round the back of Rose's head. Hit him with the left of the body. They clinch. Referee breaks them away. Box on, calls referee Nicky Pope. Sakurai to Rose once more. A lead now by Rose. Back into center ring. Rose coming up to the challenger, but not trying any leather. He throws the right hand now, but it's well off the target. Sakurai not throwing a punch either, just waiting for Rose to make the move and then looking for the counter punch. The right hand lead by Sakurai, and then he goes that left hand once again and scores that left hand to Rose's head. Rose comes up to him again. He swings the left hand into the body that time. It might have been a little low. Rose indicating that it was. I couldn't see from this position because he had his back to me. A right to the head now by Rose as Sakurai comes in on top of him once again. Up comes Sakurai again, jabbing a right hand, but it's only a very tentative sort of a right hand lead. That's not the punch he's aiming for. The punch he's aiming for is that short, sharp left hand, straight to the whiskers. Rose works his way around. Left hand jab now by Rose. Sakurai going back towards the ropes. Rose comes after him. Sakurai weaving, comes out of the weave to score the right hand jab. The southpaw goes away from Rose once again. Left hand lead now by Rose. Weaving from side to right side. Sakurai comes in close once again. Right hand by Sakurai as the referee separates them and sends them to their corners as the bell goes to the end of round 5. Lionel Rose, champion of the world, is in a lot of trouble at this stage. He's fighting a very tricky and a very difficult opponent. We were told here that when Rose was training for his fight with Harada, that Sakurai and his manager were regulars in the gymnasium watching him work every day, unknown to the Australians, and also that he has spent hours and hours going over the film of Rose's fight with Harada. And he claimed that he had developed a method of beating the champion. Well, here they come now for the next round, round 6. Rose moves into Sakurai, hit him with a short right to the head. Left-hand jab now by Rose. Sakurai missed with a wild right-hand swing. Rose coming up to him once again, trying to catch Sakurai, but Sakurai quickly moves around, hits him on the back of the head, and Rose cuts loose to the left of the body. Sakurai grabs him and holds on. Rose trying hard to get those big punches going now in this, the 6th round. Rose scores with left-hand lead. Sakurai backs away. Rose comes towards him. Anytime Rose really looks like cutting loose, particularly to close quarters, Sakurai claims him. Left to the side of the head now by Rose, but it was to the inside of the glove. Sakurai ducks away. Left-hand lead now by Rose. He goes after Sakurai. Sakurai nails him with a left-hand jolt once again. Rose comes up to him again. Rose hits him with a hard right that time. Goes after Sakurai. Jab now by Rose. Sakurai tries the left-hand jolt counter, but fails to land the punch. A left-hand lead now by Rose. Sakurai back towards the ropes. Rose trying to corner him, can't do so. Sakurai moving away from the right hand. He throws that round arm right once again. Sakurai pulls Rose off balance with it. Rose comes into him once more at centre ring. Sakurai weaving from side to side. Rose leads the left hand. Sakurai going back on the ropes. Sakurai scores that short left hand, jolting close once again. Good punch that time by Sakurai, and Rose has certainly got his troubles tonight against a very shifty southpaw opponent. In comes Rose. He rips the left hand to the body of the Japanese challenger, and Sakurai out of the corner and back into centre ring. The lead by Rose is very short, and up comes Sakurai, not trying a punch, just weaving from side to side. Rose leads the left hand and punches Sakurai off balance. Sakurai back. Rose catches him with a left hand jab once again. Sakurai, this is Rose's best round by far. Right to the head now by Rose. He leads the left hand again, but Sakurai goes underneath and swings the right hand into the body. Rose trying to get Sakurai back into the ropes, get him with a short right hand to the chin. That was a good punch by Rose. A left-hand jab now by Rose. Sakurai swings the right hand and he misses. He swings another right hand and misses with the punch. The lead by Rose. Jab by Rose. That's the left hand, Rose. That's the left hand that we know Rose can throw. And there's the left hook. A beautiful punch that time by Rose. Sakurai walked right into it that time. This is Rose's best round. Left-hand jab now by the champion. Sakurai going back on the ropes. Rose tries to line him up for that right hand. Can't do so. And this time Rose gets his glove up to block against that left-hand jolt. In comes Rose once again. Sakurai falls into a clinch, and Rose gives him a decent cuff in close. As much as to say, don't come in here too often. Back at centre ring again. They square off. 30 seconds of the round to go. Left-hand jab now by Rose. Jab by Rose once again. Sakurai weaving and ducking in the corner, and he comes up and scores that left-hand jolt to Rose's head again. Rose hooks him with the left hand, however. Sakurai out of the danger area and back into centre ring. Rose goes after him. Weaving from side to side. Sakurai scores a hard left again, and Rose tries to nail him with the right hand, but Sakurai was too fast. Away he went and back into centre ring again. A right hand jab now by Sakurai. Jab by Rose. Rose goes after him. A left hand jab by Rose. Rose closing the fight up on him once again, chasing him around the ring. Well, there it was. It was a good round by Rose, and I would say that it'll make him much happier as he goes back to the corner as the bell has gone for the end of round 6. Without doubt, Lionel Rose's best round. He's the 6th round, but the fight's getting on. 6 of 15 rounds have been fought, and I've got the challenger ahead on points at this stage, and Rose winning the 6th round, but he won it pretty well. He was on the target with his left-hand punching. There's the bell. On the target with his left-hand punching, and out they come now for this, the 7th round. Sakurai was shaken up with a couple of punches in that previous round, and he's behind a pretty tight defence at the moment as Rose moves towards him. Sakurai, clever, moving away from the ropes, awkward. And he comes in close, and he's got a very good punch, that little left-hand jolt that has given Rose a tremendous amount of trouble tonight. Water dripping from the face of Rose as he moves in towards Sakurai, and Sakurai crouches, doesn't throw a punch, and Rose belts him with a left hook. Sakurai comes back with a left into the body. It was quite a good punch. Well, as some of the people at ringside told you before the fight, he doesn't care for the heavy weather stuff, but by the same token, he doesn't shirk it. He stood his ground that time and mixed it up with Rose coming back with good left-hand punching. It's a left-hand jab that time by Rose. In close, Sakurai hit him with a left hand. Sakurai claims Rose, holds onto him. Referee separates them from the clinch. In goes Rose once again now towards Sakurai. He throws a right hand and he misses. He tries to cut loose and left to the body. Missed with the first one and scored with the second. Back into centre ring once again. Rose coming into Sakurai again. Sakurai backing away from him. Rose trying to line him up, I would say, for the right hand, the way he's coming in on him. A right hand lead, however, by Sakurai, short of the target. Rose comes after him, and Rose jabs him with a left hand. Sakurai back again. A right hand jab by Sakurai. Rose comes back with a left. No, he threw a right hand. He missed, and so did Sakurai miss with his left hand that he threw then pretty hard. In comes Rose once again at Sakurai. Rose coming up towards him. Sakurai back towards the ropes, but not getting himself caught on the ropes at any stage. Left into the body now by Rose, and they finish up in a tangle, and the referee has them break away. Rose moving to Sakurai again. He's got him back towards the corner. Hit him with the right hand this time. Sakurai away from the ropes. No, he's back towards the ropes again. Rose comes in. He hits him with a left hook. Beautiful punch, and Sakurai went to pieces that time. Threw a real wire left hook that time himself. Rose was a good punch. He missed with the right hand. Another left hook now by Rose was a good punch. Sakurai backs away from him. Rose really hurt him that time. Sakurai back towards the ropes. Rose looking at him, not forcing the pace at the moment. Lining him up, comes in close to him, doesn't throw a punch, throws the right hand and misses. Sakurai grabs him in a clinch, spins him around, hit him with a short left hook to the head. Referee separates them away from the clinch once again. Box on as the signal. Rose moving to Sakurai once more. Sakurai backs off. Rose comes after him, doesn't throw a punch. And now it's the left to the side of the head by Rose. Sakurai goes for the body. Referee separates them away once more. Up at centre ring. Rose bangs the gloves together, comes in on top of Sakurai. Sakurai stands his ground looking for opportunity to land that left hand, but spears the right hand straight through Rose's defence that time. Into a clinch once more. Referee separates them again, getting close to the end of the round. Sakurai going back towards the ropes. Rose gets him with a left-hand jab, a right to the side of the head now by Sakurai. Jab by Rose once again, coming in on the challenger, forcing him back towards the corner. Right over a microphone, hitting with a right to the head. Good sharp, straight right to the head. Jab now by Rose, and jab by Rose again. And when the jabbing got a little bit heavy, Sakurai grabs hold of his opponent and holds onto him. The bell for the end of round 7. Scored the last 2 rounds to Lionel Rose, but he's still got a leeway to make up, but he's looking more the fighter now, and he's making his opponent worry about him a lot, and he's showing him a lot more respect than he did early in the fight. Bell for round 8. Out they come now, and it's Rose at centre ring, Sakurai moving around him. Sakurai going back towards the ropes, and Rose let go that right-hand jolt once again. A left-hand lead now by Rose, a jab by Rose once again. Moving in towards Sakurai. Sakurai pushing up the right-hand lead. Rose comes up towards him once more. Sakurai leads the right hand again at Rose, trying to stop Rose, boring in on him. Rose comes in after him again, throws the right hand to the body. Left by Rose, the first one landed, the next 2 were well short of the target. Sakurai goes away from the right hand again, a lead by Rose once more, but Sakurai is just making that left hand fall that little bit short. In goes Rose to him once more, weaving from side to side. Rose now he catches Sakurai the left to the side of the head. Sakurai coming back, trying both hands, but Rose was back very quickly and didn't land a punch. Off the ropes now, Rose left hook as Sakurai comes up to him once more, but Rose scores that. No, that right hand is off target again as he comes in on Sakurai. A lead now by Rose. Left to the side of the head now by Sakurai. Sakurai goes for the body. Rose trying to punch up in close, can't do so. And Sakurai tries to pitch Rose away. Referee breaks them away and has a reprimand for Sakurai. Back to centre ring once more. A minute of the round gone, and it's Rose moving up on Sakurai. Rose weaving from side to side. His left hand was a very weak punch that time. It didn't really follow through with it at all. They go into a clinch. Referee separates them away once more. Up at centre ring again. And Rose tries to crowd his opponent, scores with the left hand of the head, but the next left hand lead is well short of the target. Rose has Sakurai back towards the ropes. Sakurai comes away from the ropes. Rose comes in after him. In goes Sakurai, hits Rose with the left to the side of the head. Rose scores with the right to the side of the head. The referee separates them away once again. Rose moving in now on Sakurai. Sakurai back. Rose tries the left hook, he misses. Sakurai lets go a right hand to the body. Rose bounces back into the attack. A left to the side of the head by Rose. The right hand wasn't too good. The left hand was quite a good punch. What a shard from the head now of the Japanese as Rose comes in on him once again. A lead now by Rose, but off the target with it once again. Golly, this is the department that Rose really is in trouble with. His left hand leading is not getting him points. A right to the side of the head by Rose. Sakurai giving him no chance to keep the punishment up on him by claiming him, and Lionel Rose has to wrestle with the challenger. Rose goes to Sakurai now, has him back towards the ropes. A right-hand jab by Sakurai. Rose coming in on him once again, trying to get him back in the corner. Hit him with a right to the head, misses with his left hand. Sakurai comes back with a right-hand jab. Jabs the right hand at him, but Rose scores this time with a right to the head. Sakurai fighting on the back move, scores that left-hand jolt once again. A good punch. He tries it again. Rose makes it miss, and Rose cuts loose left and right to the body. 2 good body punches that time by Rose. He comes up on Sakurai again, getting him back towards the corner. Hits him with a right to the head. Sakurai comes back left and right. Left into the body by Rose. Hook by Rose. A short left-hand jolt by Sakurai was a good punch. And Rose comes off the ropes once again, back in the centre ring now. Sakurai went for the left-hand job, but Rose beat it to the punch with a good right hand that time. Sakurai trying to mix it up with the champion. And this will suit Rose because when he's trying to mix it up, he can't be shifty. And it's Rose coming up to him once again, but Sakurai backs away quickly, gets back into his shifty style of fighting again. The bell for the end of round 8. Bell there talking with Lionel Rose, as to his Jack Rennie. The bell as they come now for round 9. Rose moves towards the Sakurai. Back on the ropes now. Close to the ropes goes the challenger. Rose catches him with a left-hand lead. Sakurai with a right-hand jab. Rose comes after him once again. On my card, I've given Rose the last 3 rounds, but not a great deal in it, just the same in those 3 rounds. A left hook now by Rose as Sakurai comes in close once again. And it's a pretty untidy sort of a tangle in the clinch. Rose moving towards Sakurai once again. Sakurai backs away from him. Left towards the body now by Rose. Sakurai holding on to Rose. He's got him really claimed that time, and the referee has to separate them once more from the clinch. Up at centre ring, and it's Rose coming into Sakurai. Sakurai backs away from him. Rose tries to nail him with that right hand, can't do so. Sakurai comes back left and right to the head, but Rose's right hand was a better one. And puts Sakurai back onto the defensive once again. Sakurai back in the centre ring. Rose leads the left hand. Brushed aside by the challenger. Takao Sakurai, he goes back towards the ropes, and Rose plods after him, coming up to him now on the ropes, and Sakurai jabs the right hand to Rose's face. Rose looks pretty menacing as he comes in, his gloves moving around, and scores with a right hand high on the forehead of the challenger. Sakurai doesn't throw a counter punch, left and left now by Rose. Light punches, but still they landed. In goes Rose once again, has Sakurai back on the opposite side of the ring now. A right to the head and a left hook to the head now by Rose. They were good punches. Sakurai backs away once again, and he comes in now, tries to punch the left hand of the body, but Rose crowded him very quickly, and the punch failed to score. Rose comes up on him once again. Sakurai goes for the body, and now he just goes right into a clinch, grabs hold of Rose by the arms. Referee separates them once more, and the referee looks at him not very approvingly. In comes Rose again. He's trying to really force the pace now on Sakurai, and Sakurai goes back on the ropes. Rose comes after him. A left and right to the head now by Rose. Rose starting to fight like the world champion now. Short left and right to the head by Rose with good punches. A right to the head now by Rose. Goes after Sakurai again. Sakurai back moving, a left-hand jab by Rose, a hard right to the head by Rose. Sakurai backs away from him once more. Rose comes in after him now, left hook to the head now by Rose, jab to the face by Rose, a right to the head by Rose, a beautiful punch that time. Short, sharp right hand to the chin that time by the champion. Sakurai takes the punch, backs away, his gloves are still nicely in position, however. Left-hand lead by Rose, Sakurai tries the right hook that time, but Rose takes the initiative again with a left-hand jab to the face. A left hand to the head now by Sakurai was a good punch that time. Rose dropped it again, left into the body that time by Sakurai as he bounces back into the attack at Rose as the referee separates them away from a clinch again. Just over 30 seconds of the round to go, and it's Rose going to Sakurai. Sakurai in the back move. He slips and Rose tries a left hook. He misses with the punch. Sakurai walks his way around Rose again. Rose comes after him, hits Sakurai with a right to the head. Left hand job now by Sakurai was a good punch again. Rose comes up on him once more. Sakurai going back towards the ropes, and Rose hits him left hook, right hand, and then left hook again by Rose. He goes right into the attack that time against the challenger. Left hand jab now by Rose. This is Rose's best round again by far as Rose comes up on Sakurai now, gets him back towards the ropes. A right-hand lead to the body by Sakurai. Rose comes in. Oh, he went right. That short left-hand jolt again as the bell goes to end another good round that time by Lionel Rose. But he was still giving a start to Takao Sakurai, who got away to a flying start in the first 5 rounds. But I think the 9th round was a real good one for Lionel Rose. And I think he's starting gradually to get on top in the fight as the bell went to the end of round 9. I think that if Lionel Rose can keep in the vein of fighting that he showed in the 9th round, then he's going to be able to retain his title, but he cannot let up 1 inch. He gave this fellow Sakurai the bell. Out they come, and he gave Sakurai a big start in the fight on my card, particularly knowing the way the Japanese score. It's always a very narrow margin in the rounds, and the referee reprimanding the Japanese challenger Sakurai that time for punching on the back of the head. Out they come. They're into action now in the 10th round, and Rose scores with a left-hand lead. Sakurai runs straight into a hard right-hand jog to the face now by Rose. Back at centre ring once again. Rose goes after him, but he looks for, he looked at that last round, and he looks at the moment like the Rose of old. He looks as though he wants to fight. He looks as though he knows how to fight, and he's going to really try and catch up with this back-moving and very tricky southpaw challenger Takao Sakurai. A jab by Rose. He threw a right hand. Sakurai made the punch miss. A left-hand jab now by Rose. Sakurai bounces off the ropes and back into centre ring. Rose at centre ring now, waiting for Sakurai to come up to him, and Sakurai balked him, and he with that straight left-hand job once again. It's been a sucker punch for Lionel Rose tonight, that one. Believe me, a right-hand jab by Sakurai. Rose comes in on him, trying to force him back onto the ropes, weaving from side to side. As the lefty pulls Sakurai off balance, they go into a clinch, and it's a real wrestling match in close. And the referee not too pleased about that one. Referee separates them away once again. There's a left to the side of the head by Rose, a left into the body that time by Sakurai, but Rose's punch, I think, was the better. A right to the head by Rose. Sakurai throw a right hand, but it wasn't a scoring punch. Rose comes in on him once again. A left-hand jab now by Rose, a right-hand jab by Sakurai. Sakurai bounces around there. Rose comes in on him, and Rose hits him with a right hand to the head once again. It's a right hand by Rose again. Sakurai gets in close. A nasty clash of heads that time, too, as Sakurai comes in to claim. He pushes Rose right back onto the ropes. Wrestling over there, and the referee touches them on the heads, indicating that they must be more careful the way they throw their heads around in close. It's a left into the body now by Sakurai with a good punch, and Rose not looking quite the fighter he did at the start of the round. He's looked a little rattled now as Sakurai comes back with left and right to the head. Rose walks up on the challenger again. Sakurai waiting with that left hand cocked as Rose comes in, but beats into the punch to score the right to the head. A left into the body by Rose. Referee separates them away once again. Just under a minute of the round to go as Sakurai comes up towards him once more. No, Rose kicking with a right hand to the head, hitting with a good left to the side of the head as Sakurai gets away from the corner and back into centre ring. Rose after him. Sakurai backs away once again. Rose scores with a left-hand jab. Good punch by Rose, putting a shoulder in that left-hand punching now as he comes after Sakurai once again. Sakurai looking for the chance to land that left hand again. He rushes in. He tries to balk by landing the right hand, but Rose simply walked in close to him and he didn't get a chance to land that left hand. Rose again, left and left and left again by Rose. He tries the right hand. He misses. Got one on the back of the head. Sakurai rubbing the back of his head that time. Rose doesn't acknowledge anything, just walks up on the challenger. Sakurai pushing out the right hand. Rose steps around him. Sakurai very tricky and shifty coming in on him, but Rose leading a left hand is brushed aside by Sakurai. A lead on one again by Rose, and then a left hook by Rose. Sakurai, as the referee says something to the fighters, and Rose walks up on him once again, and the bell for the end of round 10. They're coming up in just a moment for what will be the 11th round, and it's really the fight's closing up a little, quite a lot as a matter of fact. I've scored the last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 rounds to Lionel Rose. Very little in it, I was on my card at the moment. As they come up now for round 11, and it's Rose moving towards Sakurai. A left-hand lead by Rose. Sakurai jabbing out his right-hand lead. Rose goes into him, and Sakurai stands him back on his heels that time with a left-hand job. Rose misses with a left hook. Sakurai makes the punch miss, but doesn't score any countering punch. A right-hand lead now by Sakurai. Rose comes in on him once again. It's a right hand now by Sakurai. Rose tries a left hook. He misses with the punch. It's a lead now by Rose. Sakurai comes up to him again. No, he backs away. Rose backs away this time, indicating he's getting a little bit tired of chasing the challenger and waiting for the challenger to come in, and he does, and scores with a right-hand jab to the face. Now Rose walks up and has him back on the ropes, hits him with right to the head. Stumbles out of the corner, back into centre ring now. Left-hand jab by Rose. Jabs the left hand once again. Sakurai at centre ring as Rose comes up towards him once again. Rose in trouble here as Sakurai comes in and hit him with a right-hand jab, and Rose brushes at his eye. there's no damage. Although he may have got a little bit of a thumb in the eye that time. There's a left-hand job by Sakurai once again, and Rose went back on the ropes as though stunned again from that hard left-hand job. Left hand by Sakurai once again. Rose comes into his left-hand lead. He's short of the mark. Up comes Rose to Sakurai, and Sakurai's got Rose and in a clinch. Referee leaving them apart in this, the 11th round of a scheduled 15-round contest for the Bantamweight Championship of the World. A right hand by Rose misses. A left hook to the head now by Rose. He moves in after Sakurai again, hits him with a left-hand hook once more. Sakurai tries the left jolt, he misses. Rose hit him with one right to the body, missed with the next one. Left jab to the face now by Rose. Sakurai misses the left hand, a right to the head by Rose. Rose forcing the face again on Sakurai, and obviously stung by that left hand that he received earlier in the round. Left hook now by Rose, and Rose forcing Sakurai very much onto the defensive. Hard right to the head now by Rose. Sakurai away from the ropes and back towards center ring, and Rose hitting with a beautiful right to the head. Left to the head now by Rose, but the right hand was a lovely punch by the champion, and Rose comes in on him once again. Sakurai backing away towards the corner. Rose up on him with a right to the body, and Sakurai rushes at Rose but simply comes into a clinch, and the referee's going to separate them away from a clinch. Getting close to the end of the round. This is the 11th as Rose fighting very strongly in the last 40, 50 seconds of this round. Goes in again. He misses the left hand. A right to the body by Rose. That was a good punch, and Rose goes up to Sakurai once more. A right-hand jab now by Sakurai. Rose comes in on him once again. Sakurai doubling away now. Rose walking in on him, left to the side of the head by Rose. He tries a right to the head, misses. A left hand by Sakurai. Not a good punch, though, but still he threw it, and he backs away towards the ropes. A left-hand lead now by Rose. Sakurai away from the ropes now, and back into the center of the ring, where Rose follows him across. Sakurai waiting for Rose to make the move, and Rose moved with the right hand and showed good fighting sense that time, and followed up with a clipping left hook to the head. Right hand to the head that time by Sakurai. Rose walked right through the lead and scores with his own left hand jab to the face. He's giving Sakurai some curry in this round, and hit him with a stunning right hand to the chin. A beautiful punch as the bell went for the end of the round. Oh, a beautiful punch by Rose, and another good round by Lionel Rose, and gradually and definitely getting on top in his defense of the Bantamweight Championship of the World as the bell went for the end of round 11. Hard and a very, very interesting fight for the Bantamweight Championship of the World, with Lionel Rose defending his title against Takao Sakurai of Japan. The Japanese southpaw belt is for the next round, round 12. The Japanese southpaw has given Rose a tremendous amount of trouble tonight. Has stung him on quite a few occasions with that short, sharp left-hand jolt to the chin, putting him down for a count in the second round. But it's Rose now getting on top of his opponent. Left-hand jab to the face and a hard right to the head by Rose. Sakurai comes in at him with a right-hand jab to the face. Rose walks up on him once again. Left-hand jab now by Rose and a short right to the head by Rose. Rose looks the more complete fighter at this stage of the fight. He was uncertain early and in trouble early against his shifty opponent, but now fighting with much more accuracy and much better placement of punches. He moves in on Sakurai. Sakurai scores with that right hand to the side of the head, but Rose is not too worried about the right hand of Sakurai's. He's walking through that one a little bit and trying to get into position to land hard punches himself. His left hand has given him so much trouble. That short left-hand jolt that Sakurai throws, as he does then. Hard left hand by Sakurai and a good punch. Now Rose comes into his opponent, scores with a left-hand jab to the face. Jab by Sakurai. Rose comes in with a left-hand lead. Rose walks up to his opponent again. A left by Sakurai, but he simply goes into a clinch with the champion, and the referee will have to separate them away once more. Up at centre ring again as Rose comes up to Sakurai. Sakurai goes back, but Rose beats him and scores the left hook to the head. He scrambles away from the ropes, and Rose gives him a left hook to go on with it. He goes back into centre ring. A right to the side of the head now by Sakurai, and a hard left hand once again by the challenger. Rose takes a right hand jab. He goes up to his opponent. He scores with a left hook. Left hand jab to the face now by Rose. Sakurai backs away, and Rose hitting with a right hand to the head. A right hand jab to the face now by Sakurai. Rose comes up to him again. Right hand jab now by Sakurai. Left to the head by Sakurai. But that left hand is not quite as dangerous as the punch as it was earlier in the fight. A left-hand jab and a right to the head now by Rose. Another right by Rose. Sakurai away from the ropes and back into center ring. And he hits Rose that left-hand jolt once and twice. Good punch that time by Rose. And there's 1 minute of the round to go. A left-hand lead now by Rose. Jab by Rose. as Sakurai jabbing the right hand at him once again. Rose comes after him again. He misses with the right hand. He scores the left to the head. A left hand jab to the face now by Rose. Comes up to Sakurai, closing the fight up on him. Left hand, right hand by Rose. Sakurai away from the ropes and back into centre ring. He leaves that, he throws that left hand at Rose again, but Rose back moved the punch that time. Comes in close once again to the challenger. Picking his chance here to throw leather as Sakurai work back towards the ropes. Sakurai jabs the right hand, misses the target, and so he circles away in the centre ring again. Left to the head now by Rose. He goes for the body, left and right to the body, and it hurt Sakurai that time. In comes Rose again. Sakurai throws the left hand. He misses with the punch. At centre ring once again. Rose waiting for Sakurai to come up to him. Sakurai backs away, however, and Rose has got to take up his familiar track once again of going after his opponent. A left jab to the face now by Rose. He jabs the face to the face again. And a left to the head by Sakurai. Right to the body by Rose as the bell goes for the end of round 12. We have the championship rounds to go. That's 13, 14 and 15. And on my card, I've got Rose just a shade ahead, just a tick ahead now after 12 rounds. But it's a very even fight, very even indeed. But bearing in mind the fact that Japanese officials tend to score for the fighter who is the aggressor, but you would have to lean a little towards Rose because he has been the fighter who has made the fight. He has chased Sakurai, and although Sakurai has landed good counter punches, the fight has been made by Rose. There's little in it as far as punches landed are concerned, and it's a very interesting one. Up now for the 13th, and a right-hand jab by Rose. By Sakurai. Rose back with his left-hand lead. He leads the left hand again. Sakurai comes in close. A right to the side of the head by Rose. Sakurai up towards him again, and Rose throws the right hand. He misses with the left. Sakurai bounces off the ropes and back into centre ring. It's a right-hand lead now by Sakurai. Rose stands his ground, and Sakurai tries that short left hand once again. It's been a good punch for him. And there's the right hand by Rose. He misses with the left, but the right was a good one. Back into centre ring again, and Sakurai comes up to score the left hand of the head. A right now by Sakurai. Rose having Sakurai away towards the ropes. The left hand jab now by Rose. Jabs the left hand once again. Back into centre ring. Rose follows him into the air, tries a left hand, he misses, and he gets Rose in a headlock and almost pulls him off balance. The referee pushes them apart into the second minute of the round now, as Rose continues to go after Sakurai. Left hand jab and a right to the head by Rose. He cuffs Sakurai on the back of the head. The referee levers them apart from the clinch once again. Up at centre ring now, and Rose moves towards Sakurai once again. He's ready to lead a left hand. His left hand, though, short, though. No scoring punch by the champion that time. Sakurai scores that left to the head once again. Here's Rose coming up towards him once more as Sakurai cuts loose that right to the body, but didn't quite land the left hand of the head. He goes back towards the ropes, gets away from Rose. Rose comes after him. A right-hand lead now by Sakurai. A jab by Rose. Sakurai away from the ropes and back into centre ring. It's a left to the head now by Sakurai. A right-hand jab by Sakurai. Rose comes up after him again. A right that time by Rose. Sakurai doubles around the ring and back into centre ring again. Left to the head now by Rose. After Sakurai scores that left-hand job. Rose goes after Sakurai, throws a right hand, but Sakurai ducks his head forward. A left-hand jab now by Rose. Sakurai backing away from Rose. Rose trying to nail him with that right hand. Lets the right hand go. Sakurai had missed with a right hook. Up goes Rose at him once again with a left hand jab to the face. Jab now by Rose once again, and Sakurai on the defensive in the last minute of the round. Sakurai, right hand lead now. Rose scores with left hand jab. Sakurai away from the ropes and back into centre ring. He hits Rose that left hand jolt once again. A tricky, awkward move of the southpaw challenger, and Rose had him on the ropes, but these punches were not clean scorers. Scrambled them that time. A left hand's off the target from Rose. Sakurai comes at him once again, but although he doesn't land any punches, he's able only to finish in a clinch with Rose. Referee separates them away once again. Sakurai backing away from Rose. Rose coming after him, chasing him around the ring, hits him with a left hand. Left hand jab, back at centre ring once again. Rose catches up with Sakurai. A left jab to the head, a right to the head, then a left to the head again by Rose. Jab by Rose. Sakurai takes the punches, still continues in the back move as the bell goes for the end of round 13. now for round 14 of the Bantamweight Championship of the World, and still very little in it. Lionel Rose not doing quite as well in that 13th round. Bell for the 14th round, and Rose goes after him, hits him with a right to the head. Sakurai pushes Rose back onto the ropes, and once again the referee forces them apart from the clinch. The referee reprimands Sakurai, quite obviously that time, for holding. Rose goes after him once again. A hard right that time by Rose. Left and right to the head by Rose. Were good punches. It's a left-hand jab now by Rose. Right by Rose. Sakurai back on the ropes. Right hand by Rose. Left hand now by Rose. Sakurai backing away from the champion. A right-hand lead now by Sakurai. Rose comes back with a left-hand jab. Jab again by Rose. Sakurai backs away again. Short left-hand job by Sakurai was a good punch. The right to the head by Sakurai. Rose scores with left-hand lead. Sakurai doubles away and goes back into center ring. Rose goes after him. Sakurai is very intent on this round on staying out of trouble. Rose comes after him. Rose is just as intent on getting him into trouble. Left and right to the head now by Sakurai, but they were swinging punches. Rose punching straighter. Left-hand jab to the face by Rose was a good straight punch. Sakurai at center ring as Rose comes in on him once again. Right hand thrown by Rose, not a clean score. A left-hand job by Sakurai, but not the perfect left hand that we've seen earlier from him. Rose got him back against the ropes now, and Sakurai rushes at him and clinches with him. Referee separates them away. Sakurai not doing enough in this 14th round. Rose misses with the right hand. Sakurai swings the right hand around himself. Left hand was not a good scoring punch. Rose throws the right and misses, scores to the left of the side of the head. A right hand jab now by Sakurai as he dances around Rose. At this stage, Rose comes to him once again. Sakurai backs away, throws the left hand. Rose punches a better left and right to the head now. A right hand jab by Sakurai. Rose continues to crowd him. Left and right now by Rose. Sakurai gets in close and clinches with the champion. And the referee separates them away from the clinch. Rose throws the right hand once again. Sakurai comes in with a right hand to the body, but Rose dances back into center ring. Rose comes up on him once again. Sakurai looking for the left-hand chance, but he's not going to get it. He gets the right on the whiskers that time from Rose. A beautiful punch that took the challenger up. Another right hand by Rose. A good punch that time, and Sakurai's dancing literally this time. Rose looking very menacing as he comes after him now. Left-hand jab by Rose. Sakurai pulls very deep down and gets that left hand going again and hits Rose with the left hand, but Rose is coming in after him again. Sakurai swings the right hand and misses with it. A left-hand jab to the face by Rose. He continues to go after Sakurai. A left-hand jab by Rose. Rose looking very purposeful and menacing in this round. He leads the left hand again. It's brushed aside by Sakurai, but Sakurai's not worrying about throwing leather at the moment. He's simply trying to keep out of trouble as Rose comes after him in the last few seconds of this 14th round. It's Rose ducking away now as Sakurai throws the right hand, but this has been Rose's round. It's Rose going to Sakurai, a left-hand jab and a hard right by Rose. Sakurai goes back onto the ropes. Sakurai comes back into center ring. Rose comes after him. He tries a left hook. He misses with a punch, and Sakurai darts away. Well, this is the round that gives Rose the break as the bell goes. He gives him the break on my scorecard as they go to their corners, but the bell goes for the end of round 14. This is certainly the tough one. Up there in the red corner, Jack Reddy standing and talking to Lionel Rose, waving the finger at him as Lionel's keen to get on with it. Jimmy Bell pats him on the back. The crowd's in good voice now. The last round. Bell for the start of round 15. Away they go into the last round. A right to the head by Rose. Sakurai comes back. Rose, who looked the real champion in the 14th round, is obviously going to go on with it in the 15th round. A left into the body now by Rose, and the referee trying to pull them away from a clinch. Sakurai trying desperately to hold on. Rose is pushed away by referee Nicky Pope. Up comes Rose to Sakurai, hits him with a right to the head. A left to the side of the head now by Rose. Left and right into the body by Rose. Sakurai holds on. Referee levers them apart from a clinch once again. Up comes Rose to Sakurai once more. Sakurai backs away. Rose comes after him. A right-hand jab now by Sakurai. Right to the head by Rose. Jab by Rose. Sakurai back around the ring now as Rose comes after him. A left-hand jab to the face now by Rose. Rose comes in after him once again. Sakurai hits him with a left hand. It's gone to the head and then claims Rose. And Rose frantically trying to pull his arms clear here. And the referee very unhappy about the claiming tactics of Sakurai. A right hand jab to the face now by Sakurai and full retreat now as Rose comes after him, trying to nail him in the last round. A right to the head by Rose. Left into the body by Rose. And the Sakurai grabs Rose and actually walks him across the ring and pushes him up against the rope and holds on him and will not let him go. And the referee gets another reprimand in on Sakurai. Left into the body by Lionel Rose. That's his reprimand. A jab now by Rose. And the crowd roaring here in the Budokan Hall in Tokyo as Rose defends his world title against the Gypsy Southpaw Japanese challenger Takao Sakurai. A right to the head by Rose. A beautiful punch. Sakurai scores with a right hand jab. In comes Rose at him once again. And the referee gets them apart from a clinch once more. Hard, tough going, and the Australian in the red corner are calling out to Rose to keep the pressure up on Sakurai. A left-hand jab now by Rose. A right-hand jab by Sakurai. A right to the head by Rose. Sakurai around the ring he goes. Rose comes after him once again. Sakurai ducks away from a left hook, but Rose pings him with a beautiful short right to the chin. A lovely punch. Sakurai comes back with a left hand to the body. Once again, the referee leaving them apart at centre ring. Oh, he's finding it hard to get Sakurai away too. In comes Rose once again. A left thrown by Sakurai, right to the body by Rose. Into the last minute of the fight now. And it's Sakurai trying to hold on to Rose. Rose is clear now and goes after Sakurai. Hits him with a left hook to the head. Beautiful punch. A right now by Rose. Sakurai retreating around the ring as Rose cuts loose with left and right to the body. Hard right to the body once again by Rose. Referee working overtime to get them away from a clinch, and the referee not too pleased about it. Left and right now by Rose. Sakurai ducks away. A hard right to the body by Rose once again. Sakurai back on the ropes, and Rose comes up to him now. Left to the side of the head by Rose. A right into the body by Rose. Referee fights to get them away from a clinch once again. The bell to go any second now as Rose comes up on Sakurai once again. He can't get Sakurai. Now he hits him with a right hand. Sakurai back around the ring. A right hand, there's the bell. We'll have the decision in just a moment. We'll have the decision in just a moment. It's a close one. On my card, I'd score it to Rose, but it's a close one, believe me. We'll wait for the official decision now. Mickey Pope, the referee, has the card. He goes into centre ring. And the decision is going to be... The drums are beating. Only half the story. The hearts are beating too, believe me, here at ringside. Rose, let's get it right. Rose is the winner. Rose the winner.